Alright, ladies and gentlemen, I have some crazy battles today. Honestly, wow. Let me just start it. So, I was looking at some of the move changes that are in the current season, and I saw that, I think it was like Ursaring and Ursaluna got access to Swift, which also Teddiursa does. But funny enough, it's not even a good option on some of these Pokemon. But yeah, Teddiursa, actually, I had this built. I don't even remember why I built this, but I had this built already for Great League, and I think I've used it before, but never to success or seriously. And I was like, you know what? It's early season. I'm gonna try something spicy, like I normally like to do. And yeah, honestly, I think it was ranked higher than Ursaluna anyways in the Great League, so I was like, alright, let's try it. And yeah, I was kind of shocked myself, so I had to share these because they're actually kind of crazy. I should make a video on how to use your favorite Pokemon in the Go Battle League, because Teddiursa is terrible, yo. Like, it is pretty bad, but somehow I managed to actually get some pretty insane wins here in this video today. So yeah, I imagine anyone who I faced, like, I wonder if they thought I was being serious or not when they saw this Teddiursa. But yeah, I just one-shot the Jiraiya, the crunch there in the end. That's so funny. I mean, that's pretty good for me, to be honest, that battle. I had some great answers to their Pokemon. So in this next battle, Pidgeot lead, and I'm leading Shadow Gallade, which is an amazing lead, I feel, overall. I think the key to running terrible Pokemon on your team, like how I'm running a Teddiursa, is that I just have two good Pokemon on the team. Like, Mandibuzz and Gallade actually are pretty good. Unfortunately, they get destroyed by Charmer, which, you know, I can't avoid. I think I actually do see that in one of these battles. But yeah, this situation here where I brought in Mandibuzz on Gligar was super clutch, because it can only really hit me with the air laces, and I got a lot of nice energy here, and I decided to, you know, finally throw some moves, and they do end up bringing in Pidgeot, sack it. So I was like, dang, that's a good call. They caught me red-handed. But then I brought in Teddiursa. And the world was, you know, I guess this was fine. I took an air lace to the face, and from here, I was like, you know what? I could probably just remove it with a cross chop. I doubt they'll shield. And in the back, they end up having Vigoroth, which this ends up working out really good for me because they are a little nervous to take a move, I guess, from Teddiursa. What are you afraid of a Teddiursa? But I think if I was looking at the energy correctly, it didn't really matter. I had that plus combat ready. I mean, yeah, it honestly did kind of matter a bit, but I think regardless, I mean, if I saw Teddiursa, I'd probably be pulling up PvP poke in mid-battle, like, what's going on? But, yeah, so Charizard here. Definitely didn't want to, I knew it was just going to throw Blast Burn. You know, it's going to hit hard, especially from the Shadow variant, so I decided to just take it. They bring in the Azumarill again, and I'm just going to try to chip as much damage with my Mandibuzz as I can. If you were wondering, I wanted to keep Gallade in when they switched in Charizard, primarily because I knew regardless of what I threw there, they're probably going to shield. And bringing Mandibuzz in on this switch would make it a little bit easier to flip it. They end up having a Pseudo Widow. Okay, there's definitely some spice in these sets. Like, that's actually really spicy. And they don't respect my Teddiursa, so spice versus spice. This was, honestly, a lot of these battles are insane. How did I win any of these? Like, seriously. Why didn't I play like this when I actually have a good team? You know, it's like crazy. So here I was like, I wanted them to remove my Mandibuzz, so I stopped attacking so I could just come in with Gallade and generate energy, and they saw what I was doing, so they stopped attacking. I was like, well, I have Switch anyways, so I'll just switch in Gallade. And yeah, really interesting interaction there. It was like we were talking to each other for a second. But yeah, okay, here it is, yeah. So I do end up seeing a Charmer lead, and yeah, I was gonna, you know, with Clefable, it can occasionally be Fairy Wind. So I was like, if it's Fairy Wind, I could actually stay in here and probably, maybe even win. But it ended up being Charm, and I'm like, dang, I'm not in a good position to deal with the rest of this fight, unfortunately. And just because of the way the Charmer destroys my safe swap as well, I decided to switch in Teddiursa as my safe swap. I see Skarm, and yeah, honestly, still puts up a good fight, but it's not really going to be enough. I think I tried to just bring in Gallade here, take the move, and from here I knew it didn't matter because they had the Clefable, even though it's like low health. I mean, technically I could maybe, you know, they do shield here, and I'm like, oh, well, maybe I'll be able to get the shields and snarl down, but I can't even really snarl down here. And they Politoed in the back, which honestly, Politoed is pretty bulky, so even a Dark Pulse, even if I connect it, it's still not going to really do, like, maybe like a little less than a third, or like a third. I don't remember how much it hits for. But yeah, as you can tell, it's not going to matter because they're also running Ice Beam. So yeah, GG's. One more battle here in this first set, and I get Annihilate. That's a good lead for Gallade since I do have Psycho Cut, and I can kind of outpace and smack it with Leaf Blades that hit pretty hard still. I decided to switch in like a tongue here, and I'm just going straight close combat, and they don't shield, so maybe they thought I would bait there, or you know, I don't know. But in comes Skarm, and I'm seeing this as an opportunity to bring in Mandibuzz. Mandibuzz does pretty good in the Skarmory matchup. I was, you know, maybe considering on bringing, you know, honestly, Teddiursa maybe could have been good to bring in here just to be more safe, because I could have just done residual damage with a Lick, maybe go off like a Crunch, or even potentially just like Cross Chop damage, and preserve Mandibuzz a bit more, because out of all my backline, Mandibuzz is probably my better option to deal with Annihilate. Teddiursa is not really going to be able to help much there. I mean, occasionally it does. I mean, I think I actually do have a battle where Teddiursa does finish off Annihilate, which is kind of crazy. But yeah, because of the shield scenario, I was very fortunate they didn't get that. I don't think they got an attack boost, or did they? And then I don't think they did. I got pretty fortunate, or I don't remember. I wasn't really watching when the Night Slashes went through, but oh wait, okay, actually this is the battle. Wow, I wasn't even realizing this is actually the battle. I thought it died already. It still lived, and it came back for vengeance. It got rid of Annihilate, and it finished off Skarmory with a Crunch. Pretty funny. All right, so this was crazy. After this bout, the set, I actually found a shiny Shellos directly after. I was like, this is a sign from Niantic. Maybe this is my time to shine. Alright, so the next set, I woke up and chose Violence. Decided to run the same team with Teddiursa, and I get Clodsire lead. I switch in Frostlass, and I do want to just throw like a close combat before switching in Teddiursa here. So instead of bringing something like Mandibuzz in, I decided Teddiursa would be better because I want to preserve Mandibuzz for potentially something in the back, and also Teddiursa can actually deal with this. I was thinking maybe it wasn't the most crucial that I shielded this. With how low Frostlass was, I guess wanting Switch is still pretty good here because I can kind of control the fight a little bit better. I mean, because I could use Gallade honestly for either of these Pokemon, and it would do pretty good. But I think I think Mandibuzz into Annihilate might be a little bit better than Mandibuzz into Clodsire. Just because if it's running, like, I think they run Stone Edge now typically, and I think the Stone Edge is going to be a little bit more threatening than me hitting it with Dark Pulses. I mean, it's pretty bulky, but at least like for Annihilate, they can't really hit Mandibuzz without. I mean, unless it's running Ice Punch, it can only really just counter down and hopefully get like a boost from Night Slash. So I do feel like I played this correct by shielding, even though at the moment I was wondering if it really felt necessary. I think no matter how good the battle looks, it is more important to retain switch advantage. If I'm switching, I want to win that switch so I can kind of dictate what I bring in upon my Pokemon feigning. That a lot of times is like a big part of winning a match. I mean, it doesn't always have to happen that way, but yeah, very much occasionally. It really just comes on team comp too. I mean, because Open, Great League, or just GBL in general, excuse me, is a blind format, it can occasionally just be difficult to really see what you want to be doing. So in this match, I had the safe swap, save life from my opponent, and Mandibuzz has a great switch in there, and this is actually hilarious to me because I don't even know how I won this. Like, this battle is so crazy to me. Like, they made some great plays to like generate so much energy on Carbink, and I was like, dang, am I even going to be able to outpace? But for some reason, like at first I was thinking like, man, they really made a good call here. But then I realized, wait a second, like they aren't really going to be able, even though they have all this energy built, they're not really going to be able to get 2 moves off before I get off 3 Leaf Blades consecutively. So interesting enough, like even though this person is running a pretty good team and made some crazy calls, I still was able to win with a Teddiursa. Like, that's so crazy to me. Like that, I mean, ironically, Teddiursa actually does pretty good against Trevenant. So, I mean, as good as like a normal Pokemon that uses a Lick can, you know. I mean, there's better options, but yeah, that was kind of crazy. So in this battle, Deoxys, nice shiny, by the way. So, and they put the best buddy. They took time to. They must love this Pokemon. I mean, that's a great one to have for Great League, to be honest. But yeah, I made a great call here. I caught a Psycho Boost, so I didn't even have to shield early game. I got off all the damage on Deoxys already, and Umbreon honestly can flip this, but I commit the shield to the last resort because I do want to, like, I guess I really just did not want to allow this thing to leave the battle with too much HP. If anything, I would be okay with committing the shields and removing Umbreon entirely, mainly because I don't really have a great way to deal with it. I mean, I have both of my Pokemon's fast attacks are resisted by dark types, so this is my thought process here, is that I need to at least just chip as much as possible. And for some reason, my opponent, I think they were trying to bait me for my last shield, thinking I was just gonna, I don't know why, they were just, at this point I was kind of like, I've done enough damage. But yeah, they were just throwing those, I don't know. Anyways, they have Dugong in the back. I bring in Teddiursa. They tried to, I don't know what, I honestly don't know what they were doing. Maybe they had a move on Deoxys. I feel like they did, and they just didn't throw it for some reason. Maybe they were just like so bewildered by the Teddiursa on the screen. Like, is this real life? Like, is this what's the CP on this thing? And it's like 1493. It's like, wait, this might be real. This might be a real battle. But yeah, I got pretty fortunate because I think at this point, I just can like get to the double Leaf Blade. I think it doesn't even matter. I think I throw the Leaf Blade, but I want to catch a move, but they are able to catch that, and they're gonna farm down. But I actually can get to the Aeroace, so I just remove Dugong. These are just so crazy. Are these crazy to you? If you enjoy these battles, hit that like button. Subscribe. I am all about the spice here on the channel. I mean, occasionally I do more serious teams, but yeah, I just love. This is why I like playing Pokemon Go still, personally, is being able to pull off battles like this and share them. It's so funny to me. Anyways, this is a pretty spicy team my opponent's running, but also this works out really good in my favor because I do have the favorable matchup, I had a feeling they might potentially try to switch here and just get a quick farm down on Gallade. And fortunately for me, my reaction time was pretty good right here. And I did just switch in Mandibuzz. Mandibuzz is essentially just like my designated safe swap. I'm using Teddiursa as like a shock closer. But I just figured I would shield the Hurricane. It just made the most sense to make this an easier matchup. And the minute this person threw the Weather Ball, immediately I knew I had more of an opportunity to generate extra energy. Because even if I accidentally took another Weather Ball, I was still going to have such a investment in energy that I can just Dark Pulse directly into Hippowdon here. And they decided to just instantly bring in Annihilate, I guess, trying to farm me down. But I do have enough energy to connect an Aerial Ace. And on top of that, because I was able to preserve my Gallade, I am able to bring in Gallade on Annihilate and get to the Leaf Blade and pretty much remove it. And from there, it just comes down to Teddiursa being able to tank a Scorching Sands from the Shadow Hippowdon. So, yeah, I'd love to see that. It's so cool. Yeah, this one's a tough battle. Definitely really tough to have the man team lead. And even my safe swap's not going to really appreciate being hit by Ice Beam. So I do commit the shield, but this person does actually bring Card Bank now. And at this point, if I was like, it's going to be a tough one. I feel like this is already going to be a loss, just pretty much based on the fact that I commit a shield when I pretty much didn't need to. You know what I mean? Because I can't really do enough damage in this matchup. And they are kind of just getting a good farm down. So maybe if I would preserve my shield and try to like keep those for Gallade, since it is so fast and can actually still do something here, even though it was such a bad start. Yeah, maybe I could have been in a different position. Because if I remember correctly, they do have Cresselia as well. So this is like a pretty standard team for Open Great League right now that I'm facing. But I do feel like in that little scenario, potentially, because like even a Leaf Blade at the range where Mantine is could be pretty damaging. So it's hard to say entirely if I could have done better if I just never shielded Mandibuzz. But it's a good game regardless. I mean, it's a tough battle to come back from my position. Just really bad alignment overall in the battle for me. And I mean, even though that is the case, like this person's still like almost kind of like struggling. Like not like struggling is. I feel like I said, I feel like if I would have played it slightly different, I could have maybe taken advantage of the way they're playing. Because it's like they had really solid switches and such, but it just feels like the maneuvering of it almost like cost them the game. Alright, well GG's ladies and gentlemen. Thanks for tuning into today's video, and yeah, definitely hit the like button. I know I already mentioned that, but I appreciate you watching to the end. It really helps out my content a lot here on the platform. With that being said, the Sass Squad's getting stronger each and every day. Good morning, evening, afternoon, wherever you're tuning in. I'll catch you in the next one. If you want to check out more Go Battle League content from me, consider watching this video right here or this video right here.